Hello, everyone. Welcome to 108 Days of Internal Alchemy with me, Sara. V is for victory, V is for peace, and V is for sovereignty. Just so you know. Okay, so we are at day 45, and today's title is Can the Real Slim Shady Please Stand Up? So we're continue to walk with our chest, and we're in the personal power realm of things, I suspect. So cheers to that for finally arriving here. If you're new here, welcome. I'm here to be fully sovereign, to embody God frequency, to walk. So sovereign for me is Jesus energy. So when you can walk in conviction like Jesus, that's like, then you're walking the earth as one should. I know this is a big accomplishment, but I'm making a lot of references, and I'm making a lot of references to music and a lot of Black music. So we're bringing in some sort of discussion here about something. So today we're going to start to stand up. So the spinal flow, if we're going to stand up, we have to open up our ankles. So feel into this position and be honest with yourself. How does that feel? So I've had a lot of issues with my feet because I can't walk with Jesus energy, if that's what I'm striving for, with non-happy feet. And I've been opening up my ankles so much and feet the last couple of months. So this is on our way to standing up. This is what we need to introduce. So here you can flex a little bit. So you can choose. So now I'm putting a lot of weight on this leg and I'm exercising it like this. But I can also put less. I can put the weight on the other foot and work like this with lighter. So this is you finding your way with the ankle. So this is going to activate your calves. And this might feel, you might feel this. You're supposed to feel it. This was a bit more revealing than I thought, leaning forward. Oh, did you hear that? Did you hear that I popped something really high in my neck? So this is the fascia. So because I released and opened the fascia in the foot, something opens up in the neck. So that's how it's connected. So today's topic is, it's about standing up. If we're going to walk as sovereign being, it's about standing up, and it's not about being perfect. It's not about being like anyone else. And that's the thing. You have to be you. So even though I look at Jesus as a role model, I will never be Jesus. That's just not. But I'm striving for my version of Jesus, of my version of conviction walking the earth. And my conviction is that this shit works. So that's the conviction that I'm here to work with, to embody my own teachings with a conviction that is okay. So that's the energy that I'm striving for. But then I got to know my stuff, So that's why there's a deep level of embodiment that is required. So for me, if I'm going to embody this energy, I have to open up my body. And that's just being truth and honest. Like here, there's still, this is how the body stores unprocessed stuff. And the shame of this is a part of the problem. So that's why I'm here because I have to walk my own talk. So I have to be able to look at myself clearly and love myself along the way and be open enough to share that, so that's my process of loving myself. So that's why this works for me. Okay, so now we've been opening up a little bit. Now we need to, it's like we rest in the breath of life. Because then we move the energy around. So we work locally and then we work globally. So we are contracting and expanding. So we're helping the body to move the energy that we just released in the lower parts of the body. So my body wants to open up. Crown, did you hear that? Like poof, it says. So this whole area is just falling into place. I'm opening up, and you can see that my arms are starting to get more toned. So I'm building. That's how it works for me. So at the gym the other day, I started to work out my legs, and it felt so good to really be able to really, And then yesterday, I had a 3-hour massage booked because I'm working with a lady to open up my body. Yeah, the weight training, if the body is not open yet, I'm just reinforcing the tension that is already there. So I can exercise this part now, top of the chest, top of the back, and the arms and the neck. And she can still go super deep. So I've opened this part enough for energy starts to pull through. And that's when you start to see that I'm starting to get toned. So it's automatic. I move a lot of energy, but I'm not exercising in that way. I'm only doing this, and then I do this a couple of hours at the gym and just release energy. And then I'm gradually bringing in the weight training. So then my body was really clear, like this part needs to open, and I can see that because, I'm still carrying here, still packing. Okay. Let's bring everything down. A lot of energy moving. So my energy is increasing. So my transmissions are just going to get stronger, and that's going to move energy inside of you. So I'm here to trigger stuff, but in a good way. And that's the real Slim Shady standing up, that me owning what I'm doing, being clear with my intention. I'm here to move shit tons of energy. And my transmission is to free your body from the illusions. And that's what my transmissions are triggering. The parts of you that is not you. And I use the energetics to show you and to open up the awareness and the consciousness. So it's like I'm throwing up, like God frequency, so you can see. So I'm not saying I'm God. I'm saying I'm using God frequency. But that's what we are intended, source creators. But when we are walking in illusion, I'm not fully sovereign. I can't do God's work 100% unless I am 100% sovereign. And sovereign means, not being run by the illusion of the world, of fear, greed, poverty mindset, any of the judgments, blah, 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 resentment, blah, blah, blah. All the boring stuff. all the boring stuff. Okay. Open up the eyes. So we're doing this together. So you work around whatever I give you. That's your job, to adapt to the transmission and make it work for you. Watch where you get triggered. Watch where you feel, especially if you start to get annoyed at me, if I'm moving irregularly or non-linear. That's really good, because that means I have an unpredictable pattern, and that means control is trying to, place me in a position where I'm not going to stay for long. If you see me there, I'm going to move, because that's the energy. We move, we do different things. I'm adapting to one way. When I'm with one person, I adapt in another way to another person. And here I just show up completely as I am. And that is the calling can the real Slim Shady please stand up to be myself fully in any circumstance, to speak my truth fully and allow all parts of me to be involved. Back on your feet. So we're going to start hanging out here. And this might feel very strenuous, and I want you to report back to me. Either I need to know this. So I need to know from the people who are, neck on neck with me day by day. I need you to tell me if this is too much, because this was a lot for me, especially now I'm losing weight or balancing my muscle mass. So that's why I'm not losing weight, because I'm just, trading fat for muscles and opening up the body and such. And there's a lot of water still in the fascia. So that's also why I don't lose weight, because the emotions and the energy are in the fascia, in the water. And that takes time. That's why you can look a little bit pluffier while processing a lot of emotions. And that was a phase that I had to go through. But then I just used that as like, if I can't love myself in this phase, like who am I really, So that was just a phase for me to fall in love with myself, because I was striving for perfection. I wasn't leading with that, but that's what I wanted. I wanted a perfect body. I wanted a perfect, but I wasn't honest with that. But now I'm super honest with that. That's like why I'm here. I'm here to embody something extraordinary, because that's what my body has been yelling at me since I was a child. So 48 years old, can the real Slim Shady please stand up? Yes, okay, I need to stand up for what? For who I am and why I'm really here. I want to see how far I can go with this body. That's why I'm here. That has been my focus in 10 years. So I have to be honest with that. And it's not that I haven't been honest, but it's like, if that's my intention, and you see, whenever I just talk about this, so this is how my body wants to open up the legs. It doesn't want to go to the gym. It wants to strengthen from the core. And I had to open up the body, because otherwise I have these are springs. And the calves are springs. So the calves are, if you ask an athlete the importance of calves, and then you look at the abnormal obsession of men and their connection to calves. If you ever been in a gym and you realize that men are obsessed with calves, and then you go, why? Because they are the source for life force. If you don't have spring in then there's no spring in life. And I'm heavy over here. So I've been carrying, and I've been, if I want this to open up, I have to open up here, because this is what will create energy, to move energy. I need to move energy. So I'm working my way down. So now I'm over here, and that's also because I'm opening up my heart. So that's why the arms and the breath of life is so important. And then we open up the feet so that we actually start to bridge like this. And this is also how there's a lot of transmission. So there's a lot of pent up information in me that has to come out. And that's why I'm talking fast. As this comes out and I'm starting to become the real Slim Shady, we have millions of personalities. But who's the real me? That's what that song represents, and his ability to be a white rapper in a black industry. But that's a different discussion. So it's about calling myself forward. And that's why I'm doing here. I'm calling myself forward to be visible and to be seen in my process as I'm teaching what I'm learning. So I'm starting to call myself the Sherlock Holmes of human potential, because that's really, I'm here to, it's a puzzle. And I'm onto something, I'm telling you. And I need to showcase it. So because I open up like this is going to help me lose this. So it's clocking and plopping in my hips. So here you can also relax very deep into these hip openings. So this is the squat that we're gonna spend some time in the squat, and this can be very uncomfortable. Just realize that. So find your squat. So I need to know, you guys who are neck on neck with me, and anyone who reaches this point, I need to know how it feels. This is where so when we start to open up the legs, you're going to naturally go into tremors. So the tremors are when the body starts to, so this is me tremoring. So I'm allowing, usually it starts in the psoas. It's about the psoas muscle releasing energy. So this is what a tremor session usually normally looks like, when you start to release this energy. So this is a natural tremoring mechanism that we are inviting to start occurring. And over time, hopefully your body feels safe enough to allow this full expression in these sessions, so that you are with me in a session and your body can start to really, it can be strong, you know. That's why I go to the gym and like really, I don't use the machine so much, only for the arms and some kettlebells and dumbbells, but I move and I express. It's about moving and expressing. So you talk to me, you pow. And when the tremors start, if you allow it, you will start to allow the fear to leave the body. The thing is, when the tremor starts to come, more of the emotions are going to come, more of the sensations. You're going to feel more. So you're going to come back to your senses, sense and sensibility, but it's going to be fire. And that's what you have to be prepared for. And that's what I'm here for, to hold you through the fire, with my conviction, the fire is not real. The fear is an illusion. If you allow yourself to feel the feelings, they will disappear. They might be so strong that you need someone there, but my intention is that my energy gives you as much comfort and conviction and trust, so that you can hold more and more fire by yourself. And then for the people who are unable to hold the fire, or people who want to take this further, they go like, wow, I'm unlocking something, let's go. Then you come to work with me. But this basic information has to be free. You know, this is information that if people knew how to hold their own negative emotions, you know, illness is just a memory, you know, because it's all about how we perceive the world and how we feel the world and what we believe about ourselves. And that is the information that is just, you know, exploding over the world. And that's freedom. That's sovereignty. So, okay. So this is good, you know, that I can give my transmission and you still do the work, because that's how it's going to be. You know, I have to be able to stop and do a transmission, and that your practice doesn't get affected. Your practice should be increasing because you're receiving the transmission while I'm doing it. Oof. So I still have a lot of energy to open up in the chest. But I've been protecting my heart in various circumstances that I'm very aware of. Okay, always remember the root lock, because that's going to affect how much it will ease the pain that it takes to open up the fear. in and around this area to release, because the fear is in the bladder, and then this is the protection from the bladder, so that's just the result of that. And that's what I'm releasing now, the fear in the bladder. Not working in the neck. Stop and focus on the neck a little bit. So when you start to realize that you don't need to carry the weight of the world, when you realize that there's an actual intelligence carrying half, then you can leave half of what that's why this area is opening up, because we are releasing the weight of the world. Because I understand that I've had a connection with God my whole life, but I haven't consciously had that. I was like, what are you talking about? I thought people who was wearing crosses were extremely strange, but that was because we didn't have many where I came from. So when I realized this, I can just put this part. Long time ago, someone who was working with the thymus, I don't know if it was Dr. Morse, or it was some of his teachings or students, but they connected the thymus to like ability to receive God consciousness or something like that. And that's where I realized and I've had so much thyroid issues that, yeah. So I still have a little bit, but I can feel and I can tell visually that it's starting to open up now. And I hear the pops. Just looked at the timer, it was 22:22. Okay, so this shoulder is looking for a little bit more support, so I'm giving it to it. So from here, move into your spinal flow and move into your intuitive movement with your body. Express how you feel. If you are angry, if you have anger, which most people do, and if you're going to do this with me, get a real, especially if you're going to be in the mastermind or in the sensational body, then we will work with these. So you will have to get one sooner or later. So sooner is better than later. So this is firm, or anything else that can serve as this. Because this one you can use as anger, but it's also if you're sad, because we need to feel like something is there. So it's like that is a real thing. The teddy bear is a real thing. That's why we're also moving into, when we're standing up, we're going to move into using a staff. So this is about 110 long. So you can start investigating your ability to find anything that is like this. So now I'm bringing this to the gym and I'm starting to use it as a companion, because you can stretch, you can move, and to be able to build a practical relationship with God and life, we have to have something that is always a co-creation. Everything is always a co-creation. So that's why we're bringing in physical objects to train all the levels of the being. We're looking for embodiment in thought, word, action. And we're looking for embodiment in spirit, energy, emotion, physical body, all of it. That's when you tuk, 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 these machines. I don't remember what the name, but I think ding, 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 ding. They all need to be there. That's where it comes from. It all needs to be there, and then you unlock the gift. And we're going to start working with music. So the way that that's going to work is that you're going to have to figure this out. So I'm going to give you tasks, and you're going to also see, okay, how bothered am I to fix this? You know, how excited am I? How much resistance do I have to it? And that's going to just, you know, guide you to where you are. So in order to become sovereign, it's like yeah, the telling people what to do is not, that's not the leadership that we are looking for, and it's not the leadership that is coming. The future leadership is people understand principles, and they say, you did like that, okay, I can see how you did that, and then it maps like this in my world. So it's not the exact same. That's why I'm sharing my experience, because you're going to be able to mirror me, and how is this reflected in your life? How is the feet thing reflecting in your life? And then over time, during these 108 days, you can converse with me in the Telegram group if you want to. And I realize I talk fast because I feel like I don't have time. So that's a thing that I'm working with, in case you're picking that up. And it means I'm also working on all my stuff. I'm just very honest with them. So the way with the music, because I can't play, if this would have been on Zoom, it would be super easy to just play the music. But we are not. And I can't play live music on YouTube because it's just going to be blocked everywhere. So I will have to give you a playlist or a song. I will have to find a way to post that. And I will probably do that by telling it will be a little bit of manual labor. And that's what I like, when we have to adapt a little bit to make it work, because that's also gonna trigger your willingness to find solutions and overcome obstacles to make things work. And that's how you build yourself. It's like, okay, I'm over here, I'm going over there, and these are my obstacles, and I'm going to go through them. That's the sovereignty, that's the conviction. And that we realize that all the information to solve the piece of the puzzle that I have right in front of me is right in front of me. So that's also what you realize when you fully connect with God and to the present moment. And that's what it means. You have everything in the present moment. I'm like, what the fuck that doesn't mean? I hear what you're saying, but what does it mean? And for me, it means all the clues. If I'm Sherlock Holmes, all the clues are here. That's what it means. But I'm the one that has to put them together. So I can't you need to be your own Sherlock Holmes. And I'm just saying, it's like in Survivor, glance at what I'm doing, it's not cheating. We're trained in school to not cheat, to not look at what others do and realize, oh, I can mirror that and do it myself. No, then you're a copycat. Like, Jesus, yeah, that's a way to not allow people to succeed. You got to see through the illusions, got to see through the bullshit. That's what the real Slim Shady does. So can the real Slim Shady please stand up? So we're standing up, but we're going to stand up consciously, and we're going to stand up through the body. So that's what we're doing. Okay, very good. Things are finally starting to happen in a way that finally I can also be satisfied with this process. I've just been waiting 9 years. So on the 31st, the miracle option expires. Just saying, $111. Still tripping on the numbers, $111. What is so difficult with that? It's a miracle experience. And yeah, I already told you about it the other day. So I'm just saying it expires on Friday. And if you know, you know. If you don't, then you don't. Simba and I are officially launching the next level of the Wellspring. So that is the membership, where if you want more of this, if you want more of us, more of these deeper sessions, because your body is responding in a way like, okay, I need more of this, then there's a self-paced library with 80 plus sessions, 75 minutes each, half with him, half with me. So we're both working on the deep in the internal alchemy, and I work a lot on the energetics. Then we also show up twice per month with a live, more in-depth workshop for the next year. So we're going to work through everything that has to do with implementing all of this practically in the lifestyle. So what Simba and I are working with is high-level self-care. Finally, I can say what I do. I offer extraordinary high level of self-care, to the level where the body starts to reorganize itself back to where I feel younger than I did when I was, in my 20s or 30s. So I'm stepping into the absolute prime of my life. And that is due to impeccable self-care on all the levels. So this is for the people who are interested in that. That's who I am for. And then you can join at any level. So the mastermind, my mastermind begins in August, but the engine, so if you join the mastermind, the Wellspring is included, because the Wellspring is the engine. If you don't go deep enough into the body, there's no engine you have to clean the engine completely to open it up. But when you do, it responds massively. So that's the membership. If you only want to join the membership, that's launching now in August. And then Simba is doing a lifestyle challenge whole day of August. So he's going to produce a lot of content. His name is Internal Alchemy with Simba. And I'm going to join him because, I'm joining my husband on his quest. So let's go, babies. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.